Who are you? You don't know.
Throughout the history of this country, the majority of us have believed that we were from Africa. I'm not going to start with that discussion tonight because most likely the reason you're here is because you already know we're not from Africa and that in fact this is our land.
We're the only people in this country who are not of white skin who cannot be deported, which is the central challenge of the black predicament.
Lock the doors, because what I'm about to say is going to upset some people right next here. Okay. Christopher Columbus did not discover America.
There's a lot of evidence that is coming up recently that's showing that we was already here, that we are the fucking Indians.
And a lot of blacks don't know that they are Indians. And
why don't they know?
Well, they've been told that they're African-American and that they came from Africa, but that they're really been here in the United States as Indians.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And they're really just been given false information from the historical point of view.
These four brothers sitting here, we didn't all come from Africa. And there was a country before 1492, and our history goes way beyond 1492. So you can't start us at 1492. We were always here. We were always here.
98% of all the black people in America were here before 98% of all the other people ever arrived.
Exactly. I mean, never mind the question of like how you can discover a place where the inhabitants are watching you arrive from the shore.
We were here for thousands of years.
We're the indigenous people.
You know why? Because the problem with
1866 Indian treaties, and I found out most black people know that those Indian treaties were for black folk. Those Indian treaties were for black folk. Those Indian treaties were for black folk.
Because you're home. That's why they can't deport you. That's why they keep building jails, because they can't deport you, because you're home. And this ain't India. And we ain't Indians either.
The number one problem of the 21st century in America is what do we do with 40 million black folks who we do not want and cannot deport? This is why we are kept from realizing our true gifts and talents, because you cannot be sent back to Africa.
So you got to really know your real history. And then a lot of Asiatics know this, but if they tell that real history, they can't keep on promoting the diaspora, which is partly fiction, because they didn't bring us from anywhere. We were already here. We were here for thousands of years.
Slavery psychologically destroyed your connection to your mother continent.
It ain't about what you believe. It's going to be about what you know.
This is not taught in your public schools, although it will be. The history that the children are learning today is not going to be history that's going to be taught in the next 25 years. It's going to be radically different.
Knowledge is what's going to set you free. Truth is what's going to set you free. And all that other stuff, you can forget it.
For example, Chinese can be sent back to China. Latinos can be sent back to Cuba, Puerto Rico, or points beyond. Okay? An East Indian can be sent back to India. Okay? An Arab can be sent back to whatever Arabian nation from which they come. Where do you send African Americans back to?
Because I'd be lost in Africa.
Because if you say African American, the first human beings came out of Africa. Anybody on earth that comes to America is an African American. You can be white and come from Europe tomorrow. You're an African American.
That makes total sense.
And that's the first thing that hurts. So you can't. That's a very, very broad term. Who's an African American? Anybody can be an African American.
African American is not a nationality.
But see, and so the government right now owes black people, native blacks. They don't know African. They don't know African anything. If you say you're an African American, whites say, shoot, I don't know. We never enslaved in Africa. We enslaved some blacks. We got in here, but they weren't Africans.
Now, since we're under occupation, and we have foreigner Europeans claiming to be Americans who they are not, who got you fooled thinking you're suffering from prejudice when you're suffering from birthright theft.
Is that why you use the term native blacks as opposed to African American?
That's right, native blacks. And I want to help all blacks on the earth. But if you don't use the word native blacks, you shoot yourself in the head.
Gotcha.
You was played. That's all. That's all. The word don't change. You've been tricked, you've been had. That's why we, unlike everybody else, catch super hell. Some of you say, give me some fire, at least it'll be better than this. We're only here to help. We're not your resolution. We deal with knowledge. We don't deal with emotions. We don't care what your beliefs are. That's personal, like your underwear with the airplanes on it. Keep your pants up. But some adults have difficulty handling that.